and Santi Del Campo where are you?
Barcelona, Spain. How are you doing,
Oh,
guys?
okay. Cool. Thanks so much. Today on the show, we're going to chat with Santi, who's one of our newer teachers at the Demon. I guess I just heard this seconds ago, but you went from a 143 to a 173.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, we'll love to hear more about that. So the title of this is LSAT Advice for Non-Native English Speakers, maybe. Okay. Hello, Ben and Nathan. Hope all is well with you. Yeah, it's going well. I'm an LSAT Demon Live subscriber since September. I just got my August LSAT score today, and I got a 155. I started LSAT prep this May, and over the past 4 months, I feel like my LSAT score improved very slowly. I started with a mid 140s after reading LSAT Trainer in June or July. I took 7 Sage for 2 months. So basically, I improved about 10 points from 140s to 155. I'm not very happy with this result. I think it has something to do with my wrong study methods or lack of motivation during the COVID time. Okay. I feel like I have no talent for studying LSAT. Okay. As a non-English native speaker who has only stayed in Canada for 3 years, reading comprehension is the biggest barrier for me. I can never do all 4 passages on time, and it's very difficult for me to keep active reading for those dull content. Each time I do reading comp, I have to spend extra time collecting the hard words and remembering them. Through all my timed sections, the wrong questions are usually more or equal than the right ones.
In other words, they're missing about half.
Yep. Okay. For example, wrong questions equal about 13 or 14. Because I study poli-sci and international relations, I'm assuming, I'm generally doing better on social science and humanities articles than on law and natural science articles. Okay. For logical reasoning, I feel like I improved a lot for speed. Not something I'm looking for.
No.
I did 23 questions in August Flex, but I guess the accuracy is still not good. Okay, look, if you don't get to a question, or if you get to a question and you get it wrong, it's the same as not getting to it. So,
right.
Anyways, just don't even think about that speed stuff. I should get about 8 to 12 questions wrong in total. Okay, or you do get about 8 to 12 questions wrong, or you expect to, I guess. For games, that is the easiest section for me. I usually get no more than 2 questions wrong within 35 minutes. 0, 1, 2. Okay, that's great. Nice work on the games. I will retake the LSAT this November, aiming to achieve 165. If necessary, I will retake it in January. Depending on where you're scoring, I don't know, 10 points in a month might be possible, but it seems like January is more likely. Could you please give me some suggestions on what I should do from now to the November test? Feel free to share my email on your podcast, or please email me back. You can call me Jay in your podcast. Your advice will be highly valued and much appreciated. I sincerely look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much. All right. Well, I don't know. Any reactions?
Sure. It's perfect timing. This story sounds exactly like Santi.
Mm-hmm.
Santi is not a native English speaker. Santi actually did learn English in Canada. Santi improved from a 143 to a 173. Jay's a Demon Live subscriber. Santi is an LSAT Demon Live teacher. Talk to Santi is what I'm saying, because I'm sure he will have all kinds of good advice.
Yeah.
As Ben mentioned, you're paying too much attention to speed. We can tell that, obviously. Your problem on LR and RC, it might, I'm not saying it's 100% speed, like because you're thinking about speed, but I wouldn't be surprised if 75% of your problem is actually arising from this idea that you have to do too many questions. Most people shouldn't be doing 23 questions in LR, not unless they're scoring well into the 160s. So if you're only at 155, doing 23 questions while you're missing 8 to 12, that's your actual problem. Stop doing that. You need to do, 3 or 4 fewer questions, but get 3 or 4 more right. you'll like already be at 160 probably. If you did that on both LR and RC, bingo.
100%.
What else?
Well, just to pile on that, he says that I feel like my LSAT score improved very slowly. Well, the problem with going fast, ironically, is not only do you get points wrong during the section, but by skimming over questions, you're not really learning how to answer them correctly.
Right.
So you're at the very least not making progress, but in a worst case scenario, which is not uncommon, you're actually teaching yourself bad habits. You're teaching yourself, oh, this is how I do this stuff. And your brain gets better and better at that, which is basically skimming and kind of guessing based on your gut sense.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, it's like running a race with, someone told you that you needed to tie your shoelaces together. So now you have like a limited stride. And so you're like trying as hard as you can. And if you practice over a long period of time, you definitely will get faster with this like bad approach, right? You'll get faster and faster slowly over time.
Yeah.
But what you really need to do is untie your shoes. And then if you just focus on getting it right one at a time, then your stride is longer, basically.
What is that called when your two shoelaces are tied together?
What is it called?
Yeah. Is there a name for that?
I don't think so, but I know that it's a prank that like baseball players will play on each other in the dugout, things like that.
I was just thinking if there was a name for that, that should be the name of this podcast because that's the most bizarre analogy I can imagine.
You're welcome.
It's just like that guy who's like has his shoelaces tied together. He's trying to run the race. You're like, oh yeah, just
I was
like
trying
Joe.
to think of a way that you could like hinder yourself in a race, you know, but I mean, that's basically what he's doing. He's maybe a better analogy would have been trying to run a marathon before you're like capable of it.
Sure. Yeah. Or sprinting.
Finish the whole thing.
Sprinting off the gate, like running way too fast, and then everybody passes you up in the end because you're beat.
Because you're beat. Although that doesn't really happen, I don't think, on the LSAT. I mean, it's not like you should be getting tired during the 35-minute sections. But anyway, thank you for indulging us, our crazy metaphors. Jay, you need to do fewer questions on LR and RC both, and just focus on accuracy. But come to all the classes. I mean, you're already subscribing to Demon Live. We got 7 days a week, right? So sounds like you should come to our beginning and intermediate reading comp classes. Sounds like you should come to our beginning and intermediate logical reasoning questions. Everybody's welcome in my class. I don't know who this is. All I have is Jay. So, but if you come to my class, you know, do your best, ask questions. One question at a time is like really the best way to improve. So focus on understanding and don't worry so much about the timeline. You see how Jay's like, I will take in November, aiming to achieve 165. If necessary, I'll retake in January. It's like, that's like an artificial timeline. It's a little bit like how Jay is trying to finish the sections on LR.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you can't force it. It's going to take how long it's going to take for you to actually understand it. Because you don't score 165 or higher without actually understanding it.
Yep.
That's
it's kind of like, here's another analogy for you. It's like working out. Like, do you ever hear people who are like, oh, I'm benching this much. I'm going to by November, I'll be to 200. And if necessary, then I'll push it back to January. It's like you work out as best you can. You do what you can and you see how much progress you make. And then you do it again. You just keep going at it.
When you focus too much on the results, you get like, you're not focusing on the process. You're just focusing on the results. And then you get like emotionally invested too much in what essentially boils down to randomness anyway. Shooting for a specific score. It's like, well, instead you should be shooting to understand one more question. Like that one you missed, let's talk about it. Cause you need to figure out, you've got to be able to really understand it where it clicks. Yep. That's where the improvement, like the long run, faster improvement comes from essentially realizing that the test isn't that hard. Like I can figure it out. Oh, I see what they're asking now. Oh, I get it. Oh, that's no big deal. That's the real learning, right?
Yeah.
Not this racing the clock type of thing that Jay is trying to do.